What's more important to you? Is it story, is it hype, or is it reputation? Tonight, we're putting two fan favorites to the test that possess all three. The rich, limited release, Maker's Mark the Heart release, and the unicorn bottle that bourbon hunters lose their mind over. Is Maker's Mark Heart release a contender for the Ultimate Pour of 2024? And is Blanton's gold worth its weight in, well, gold? Trust me, this is one you're not gonna wanna miss. Stick around. Welcome to the Cynple Whiskey Show. Happy holidays and welcome to day 3 of the 12 Days of Whiskey. I'm Cyncere and we're pitting 16 whiskeys against one another in a single elimination style tournament to see who can achieve the title of Ultimate Pour of 2024. Each video, we put 2 whiskeys against one another in a head-to-head competition, and I picked the winner based off of palate, nose, as well as finish. Only one can survive, and by New Year's Eve, we will have a champion. If you love holiday whiskey fun, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell so that way you don't miss out on any of the matches. Let's dive into tonight's contenders. First up, we have Maker's Mark the Heart release. This 2024 release comes in at 112 proof and is crafted with rich, warming flavors perfect for the holiday season. Per the bottle, we're talking about deep notes of caramel, chocolate, and maple. It's a small batch bourbon made with care, and I'm curious to see how it stacks up. Fighting in the gold corner, we have the bottle, the myth, the legend, Blanton's Gold. This single barrel bourbon is aged between 6 to 8 years and comes in at 103 proof. The nose on this is orange marmalade, caramel, and spiced vanilla, while the palate delivers creamy sweetness, cinnamon, and even a hint of Coca-Cola. And here's the thing, Blanton's Gold is one of those bottles that keeps bourbon hunters lining up at dawn so they can score one. The real question is, will these live up to the hype, or are they just pretty bottles? Let's get to sipping. All right, let's start with the Makers. Ooh-wee. Oh yeah, on the nose, I automatically get that caramel and that chocolate. And I believe that when I reviewed this one, the chocolate was the most prominent note I got on the nose then. That caramel shines through here now. It's almost like a Carmelo candy bar. Let's check the nose on Blanton's Gold. Oh yeah, this is a much brighter nose. I get like a citrusy note, and I still get that caramel and a little bit of an oaky note, but this one's more rich, this one's more bright. All right, let's give it a taste. Maker's Mark the Heart release. Oh yeah, it's like a dessert in a glass. That caramel note comes to the forefront, and then through the mid palate, you get that chocolate. And then you get a little bit of that baking spice on the mid palate as well that I don't recall getting a whole lot of the first time I had it. Very well could have. It's been a little while, but this is a solid pour. I really do enjoy this one despite some of the hate it's gotten online. And the finish on this is pretty long, very sweet. Let's dive into Blanton's Gold. I probably should have started with this one given it was the lower proof of the two, but like I said in the other video, if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. Yeah, that citrusy note is on that nose still. Oh yeah, that's why I like Blantons. Man, it's like that Werther's Original caramel, little bit of a orange zest or some sort of a citrusy note on the palate. Extremely smooth, 103 proof. Yes, this one's 112, 113 proof, but then you come back down to the 103 proof, and it's just such a approachable pour that it's such a good sipper. I know that when I had this one up against the regular Blantons, which I think is 93 proof, I thought they tasted a whole lot alike, but when you have this one separate, it's really good. And just a smidge of spice that tie it all together. This short but satisfying. Definitely a little bit shorter on the finish than the Makers, but still satisfied with it. All right, so which one is gonna move forward and which one is gonna get left behind? Makers. So I went with Makers, and while Blanton's has that smooth, elegant taste, great mouthfeel, this Makers just gives me more of that holiday spice. You got the chocolatey notes, the caramel or caramel. On any given night, your palate can do some flip-flopping and a little bit of wishy-washy things. And For me, I thought Blanton's Gold would have been the one that eked this out, but the Makers is definitely the one that I'm preferring at the moment. I would have been curious to see how this would have done if this were a blind tasting. I think that the fact that I know what they are and I kind of have expectations as to what I should get on the palate, I don't know if that skews it or if that kind of already gives me a little bit of a preconceived notion as to what I'm going to get in each glass. But either way, Makers for the win tonight. Sorry, Blanton's Gold. You'll go back to the shelf where you've been for quite a while since I first cracked you open. All right, so let's see how good they blend together. Are they lifelong buddies or are they just bitter enemies? Get them mixed up a little bit. Get that maple syrup note a lot stronger on the blend of the two. Palate wise, I get a little bit more of that caramel just like I did the first go around. I don't taste as much of the chocolate note as I got on the Makers individually. And I don't get a citrus note at all, which I got prominently on the Blantons. Still, they seem to be friends. They're not enemies, maybe frenemies. All right, that wraps up day 3 of the 12 days of whiskey, and Blanton's Gold might not have taken home the crown, but it's still a pour worth savoring. Let me know in the comments which one you think you would have picked, or if you've had both of them, which one do you prefer? And if you missed day 1 of the 12 days of whiskey, go back and check out George T. Stagg Battle in Little Book. And if you missed day 2, don't forget that Larceny Battle, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. And I'll leave you with this. The holidays remind us that every bottle, just like every moment, is worth savoring. Even when the results of what you think is supposed to happen doesn't happen, savor the moment. So here's to good whiskey, better company, and keeping it simple. Cheers.